ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is going to be a quick recap because this episode was more so a setup episode for How to Get Away with Murder. So this is season 5, episode 13. Where are your parents? So the episode starts off with the rest of the Keating Five. They're at their home. They're setting up for Christmas. It's Christmas time. And I always feel like it's weird when, holidays have passed in real life and we're still looking at them on TV shows. But whatever. It's cold, so it works. Laurel, the main thing is that Connor's mom is going to be coming for Christmas, so they're going to have to go and be on their best behavior. It's like, Asher, stay away. And Laurel gets a call from, it sounds like a female voice, and she's kind of breathing, and she made another sound, and Laurel thought that maybe it was her mom. And I'm thinking, is this Laurel trying to convince everyone else that her mother's still alive? Or did her father do something to the mom before he got locked up? Who knows? Who knows? Because for the type of position, type of power he had, I definitely wouldn't want to have my wife, who could possibly know everything, just roaming around. That sounds horrible, but that's the reality of life. Annalise brings her mother! Miss Cicely Tyson. And remember, she's still going through, I think, dementia or something. And she's like, wait a minute, why are we in this hotel? She's like, no, this is my house. This is my apartment. This is my place. And Annalise's mama was so happy for her. So happy for her. Annalise looks good. This entire episode, Annalise looked good. Annalise got it together because she knows her mother is going to pry. Now, Annalise gets a call from the feds. And remember the main woman who's in charge of this case? She's actually calling Annalise to try and give her full immunity. And so Annalise said she'll think about it. I'm thinking, oh Lord, what exactly are you thinking? What exactly are you thinking? Frank goes and visits Gabriel, and, Frank actually invites Gabriel to Christmas because he doesn't have anyone, but it's a two-stage thing. He wants to keep his eye on Gabriel as well. Poor Bonbon is at the funeral of Miller, and Miller's mom is giving this speech, and she's saying how, her son being killed, how awful it is, and she wants justice for him, and she's just crying, and Bonnie's just over it. It's just a lot. And so when Bonnie actually talks to Miller's mom, Asher was there as well, showing support, but then he left because he said, oh, I was his not apprentice, but I was doing his intern, and he was a really cool guy, and he really looked out for me. And so then he had to leave because he was about to cry and probably spill everything. Now, Miller's mom wants Bonnie to go and find these people who killed her son, and she wants them executed. I said, just kill Bonnie now then, if that's the case. Now we see on the news that Miller's murder is being linked to the governor because because of the way that the body was disposed of with the bleach and the chemicals. And there was another case similar to the governor's where that exact MO occurred. So Nate is doing his thing. Laurel doesn't care about all of that. She said, look, can't we just have a little bit of peace since things are just going to go to hell in a handbasket soon enough? Ding dong! Connor's mom is there. So now they're distracted. Nate comes over to visit Annalise. And Annalise's mother loves her some Nate. She's like, oh, how you doing, babe? Oh my gosh. And now, it sucks because, Nate's looking at Annalise saying, you look good. She's like, yeah, thanks. So why are you really here? What's going on? What's up? Nate has his eyes and ears to the street, and he has to talk to Annalise about this immunity. And he asks her flat out, are you going to take it? She says, stop. If I take it, that'll be putting all the rest of you out. Nate said, don't worry about me. I can handle it. Just worry about yourself. And I'm thinking, you're saying all this, and Annalise's mom, she's a mother. She's a parent. She's a parent. You really think that her super hearing isn't going to kick in? Which it does. So Annalise comes to bed, and her mom is all bundled up. I said, this is so accurate. It's like me looking at my grandma. Anyway, her whole thing is that you're in trouble. You're drinking again. I know you. You're drinking again. You're in trouble. And it involves Nate. And you two constantly always getting into some type of mess. But let's be very clear. You better, that's a good man. And you better protect him. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. See, and this is the messed up mentality, because she comes from that old school of you defend your man, you protect your man, almost no matter what. And she doesn't realize that Annalise has been protecting everyone, and it's not fair to her. Now we see that what's left of the King Five and Connor's mom, they're going and doing this fake Santa Claus thing for baby Kristoff. And the cute thing was, baby Kristoff clearly has been spending a lot of time with Laurel, because he actually did this to usher in Laurel to pick him up, even though in real life that's actually a little girl. But we digress. And I said, oh my god, that was kind of cute. I almost had a heart. Frank comes over because he needs to talk to Laurel and Michaela. He needs them to accept Gabriel because they need to watch him. They have to keep eyes on him. This is non-negotiable. And Michaela, stay away from him. Stay away. Now, I said, oh my gosh. I said, no. Tegan is still working with the female FBI agent who's on the case. And the agent said, stay vigilant. You know what? You're not compromised, but I need your help. Anything regarding Annalise that looks fishy, just go and reach out to me. Frank comes over to Annalise's place, and of course Bonnie and Nate are there. Oh yeah, and sidebar, I wanted to mention that it looks like they took down the picture in time from Connor's mom's social media, so they should be good. But there's always something. Always something. Oh yeah, when Frank complimented Nate on his way of disposing of Miller's body, Bonnie was about to have a breakdown. And Annalise checked up on Bonnie like, hey, you good? And Bonnie was like, yeah. And then she sees Tegan and Emmett and she's trying to figure out what is going on here. Asher finally shows up to the house, and it was a little weird. It was a little awkward between him and Connor's mom. But Connor's mom is a grown adult, and she said, look, we can still cohabitate in the same place and it'll be fine. It will be fine. Gabriel comes along and he's like, thanks for having me, even though clearly no one wanted to have him there. Emmett makes a toast to Annalise and says how, how great she is, how much of an asset she is, how wonderful she is. And everyone's looking at him like, okay. I did notice that Annalise was drinking water instead of, champagne or whatnot. And so then Annalise, and I think Annalise's mom thought that, oh Lord, this guy likes her, and maybe she likes him. So let me go and make this very clear, how great of a person my daughter is. Cough, cough. So she goes and tells the story, which isn't true, about how when Annalise was younger, the school called her mom and said, why aren't you providing food for your daughter? And she was like, what? What do you mean? And they said she keeps showing up every day without her lunch. And apparently she was giving it to this homeless guy. We later find out that wasn't Annalise, that was her sister. Because I said, that does not sound like Annalise. She was like, you're always protecting people, you're always watching out for people. Annalise smiled and bared it because it made her look good in front of everyone else, especially her coworkers. But she knew that was some bull. It was cute hearing her mom talk to her husband and Annalise's father over the phone. I was like, ooh, Annie Mae, she has this great, beautiful apartment in the sky. I mean, gorgeous. They're paying her real good. Real good. Annalise just wants to make sure her mom is okay and taken care of. And all the other court stuff is going to have to wait right now. Tegan takes it upon herself to go and discuss how her condolences to Bonnie as far as Bonnie losing Miller. And Bonnie said, "How do you know about that?" Tegan said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't public information." And I'm thinking, either Bonnie's going to be suspicious, really suspicious of Tegan now, or she's going to spiral. And Bonnie quickly left after that. Now we have what's left of the Tegan 5 with Connor's mom, and it was funny because when Asher came to sit around the table, he had to switch places with Oliver so that they weren't sitting next to each other. And so then Nosy Gabriel asked the question, and that's how it fully came out about Connor's mom and Asher having a sexual situation at the wedding. And she said, "Look, we're all grown adults, but most importantly, why are the rest of you not with your parents? Why are you not home with your parents?" Well, I can go down the list. Laurel's mom is MIA. Her father is in jail. Then we have Asher, whose mom disowned him after his father killed himself. Then you have Oliver, whose mom, actually, I was surprised she wasn't there. But the dad, he's always away on business, so there's that. And then we have Michaela, who has step-parents who she borderline disowned because they're con artists. I think I covered everyone. And Gabriel's mom, she can't know anything about this, so there is that. Now, the feds came and they wanted to get Oliver's laptop. Yes, his laptop. Originally, they wanted to get the wedding photos, which they knew was going to occur, which set up alarms for Connor's mom because she said, "So that's the reason why you had me delete the picture? Really? Really? Oh, okay." Now we have this cutesy moment of Annalise and her boss talking, and it essentially alluded to the fact that there's some chemistry there. He likes her. She feels a certain way about him because she was giving him the, "Ooh, I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't. I really shouldn't." And she didn't. She didn't. What she did instead was kind of say, "All right, I need to go, tend to my mom." And he left, but it's not over. And Annalise is always getting caught up with people that she works closely with, which makes sense because most people do. Now Laurel, out of desperation, she goes and takes the blanket that has Miller's blood on it, or possibly just Nate's. We're not sure. One of the two's blood, or maybe both's on it, and covers Kristoff with it because she figures they're not going to go and wake a sleeping baby. Well, they will if they have to, but they don't have too much to go on, so she's just covering her bases because they're searching. And like I said, Connor's mom was asking what's really going on, and that's when Asher came through and said, "Look, Connor was just trying to protect you. He felt that it wasn't..." Asher acknowledges that he does work with the guy who was killed, and so Connor was just trying to look out for you and not have your memories ruined. Like, oh, okay, so the guy, yeah, and so she kind of looked like she believed it and was gonna leave it alone for now. But we'll see, because this is the first time where his parents have really gotten an inside look of what's going on there. Because he said, "Oh, this is a part of the case that he was working on with Annalise to free all those people." And she said, "Oh my gosh, you're always just working so hard and trying to do the right thing." I said, "Okay, you're going to guilt trip him now?" Anyway, Michaela is talking to Gabriel because now, I guess Gabriel, I think they were still at her place because they had to keep an eye on him. And she was trying to do a peace offering. He said, "Why can't you just talk about my father?" "Because she helped kill him." Because she helped kill him. That's why. But she can't say all of that. So she says, "You know what? I'll take my wine." I said, "You should have just taken it in the first place, Mare." Now they're trying to figure out, I think that's the point where Oliver's laptop was taken. Bonnie, she's having a rough time because she thinks she's pregnant. She's been moody. She's been dizzy, tired, all the symptoms. I'm thinking, your mind is going through so much. I hope you don't have a stroke, because that's what it almost sounds like to me. Like you're a candidate for a stroke to me. But she's going to have to take a pregnancy test. Fast forward, she takes a pregnancy test, and she said she's not pregnant. We didn't see the test, but she's saying that she's not pregnant. And I feel like Bonnie kind of wanted to be pregnant because of what happened with her first child, even though Miller potentially sold them out. Still, I feel like Bonnie would have wanted to be pregnant. Now everyone's talking, and it's this big powwow with everyone, and it's this whole thing of Laurel is concerned because she feels like, what if my father is partially behind me being contacted? Like, you're thinking that maybe it's my mom, but what if it's my father? And Elise goes and tells them that she has to go and talk to the feds. She was given immunity, she needs to go and figure that whole thing out. Nate has a conversation with Annalise's mom, and apparently her pen pal was Nate Sr. While he was still in jail, he was writing to her, and I said, look at strong black woman, caring after a black man who's in a pickle. Gotta love it. So she gives the letters to him, and she told both of them, Annalise and Nate, you need to get married so that you can have spousal immunity. Oh yeah, she's been paying attention. Her mind is there today, and it's sharp. And they both just kind of smiled and smirked. I told you what Connor told his mom, and so now Annalise's mom is leaving, and Annalise doesn't know what she's going to do. Annalise tells her mom that, hey, Frank had a child outside the marriage. She didn't know until recently, and so she's just dealing with a lot right now. And her mom's like, look, joy will come in the morning. You just need to hold on. Mom also tells her that, hey, you keep being involved in doing these bad things and whatnot. You keep hurting yourself and you keep hurting others. And you can't really love yourself if you are hurting others. I said, if that's not a word, I don't know what is. She's right. She's 100% right. You can't fully love yourself if you just go around hurting other people. Now, Annalise calls, she's drinking again, and she calls the feds and tells the woman, hey, I want to come in. I want to discuss that deal. And guess who's in the car next to her? Tegan. I said, Tegan, get it together now. This isn't a good look. So Annalise, she goes there, and she's waiting for the feds to come through. Gabriel's talking to his mom. Annalise is still waiting. Like I said, Bonnie already took the pregnancy test. Nate is reading the letters from his dad. And at first I thought maybe one of the letters would have had some extra information. Who knows? That's to be determined. Laurel also calls the feds and says, I want to come in. I have something to discuss. I said, if she messes this up, I am fighting her. It's a joke, but it's not. We see that Tegan is also there with the feds, but she's not with the female officer that she was working with. Tegan is so on her side, and I love it. She was able to go and do the woe is me thing while she was in the car with that Fed woman and said, it's just so hard. It's so hard being all alone, and I just work and go home, and, being through this, I just feel really lonely. And the woman was like, same way. She's not married. She's not in a relationship. And Tegan then goes, touches her hand. I said, oh, is that what we're doing today? Is it? And then they kissed. And I guess they did it right there in the car. So then Tegan said, that agent is compromised. I don't feel comfortable working with someone who is too close. And so she wants to be reassigned. And so then the boss slid into her, said, so you went and talked to that child, Gabriel, without a lawyer, representation. You planted evidence on him, as well as you're now compromised with this with Tegan. Oh no, you're being taken off of the case. And so then Annalise, she had to go home. Her stuff was rescheduled. She talks to Tegan, and Tegan says what she did. And Annalise had that look of, you a real one. You a real one for that. You a real one for that. But then Annalise gets a call from someone, and it's the mayor saying that you have the wrong person. It wasn't me. Annalise looked at the mayor like, okay, then who was it? The mayor says, it was Emmett, her boss. I said, what? Huh? I don't trust this woman. I don't fully trust him either, but I don't trust this woman. If this is a setup upon the setup upon the setup, I'm going to be over it. So let me know what you think. I wonder if it was the company itself and not Emmett. Maybe he's being used as a scapegoat like before. We'll see.